Hello, family. Let me see what's going on with this camera. It is behind. Let's see. Let's get it cleaned up. Oh, that's so much better. All right. So, welcome to another episode. Let's get to it, right? Episode number 52. What is the impact of COVID-19 on healthcare staffing? And y'all, there is an impact for sure. So episode number 52, let's get it. So I am the real Alisa Applewhite coming to you on this beautiful Friday afternoon. I rushed to make it. Y'all. But I'm here. All right, so let's get to it. Here we go. Why do I go live Monday through Friday? I go live Monday through Friday because people ask me questions, DMs, text messages, and call me. They call me about life. They call me about healthcare staffing. They call me about owning a business. They call me about children, husbands, right? They ask me questions, and I want to make sure that I'm giving everybody the time that they need. So the 15 minutes that they need to answer their questions and really answer it thoroughly. And this is why I came up with questions and answers. So Monday through Friday, you'll catch me here live. If I'm not live, you'll hear it the day before, or you'll get a recording definitely. And that's only if we have something major going on. But on the weekends, Saturday and Sundays, you can definitely catch the recordings that we have. But this is why I'm live. I'm answering your questions. So if you have any questions that you want to answer, that you want answer to, and maybe you don't have the money to pay for consulting, or don't have the money to pay for a consultant, right? Give me a question. I will definitely answer it, even if it's not if it's a general question. I have resources where I can get an answer for you, because I want to make sure that you're taking your life and business to the next level. So no question, no wrong question, right? Make sure you ask the questions. All right, so I get this all the time. CEO 3 times. Well, they call me CEO 3 times because we have 3 companies, right? So we have the top of the line healthcare staffing. That is a healthcare staffing company where we staff medical professionals in hospitals, nursing homes, and doctors' offices. Then we have company number 2, which is TOTLHS Heart to Go Inc. That is our nonprofit that houses our Heart to Go Gala, and plus it helps our medical professional with needs. So rental assistance, mortgage assistance, things like that, childcare assistance. That is the baby, and we're going to grow that baby to be as big as we can potentially be, so we can help as many medical professionals as we can help. And then we have the real Alisa Applewhite Consulting. This is the consulting company that has brought you questions and answers live with your CEO 3 times, Alisa Applewhite. It is also the company that has brought regular, just everyday people, right, where we teach them how to own a staffing agency if that's what their desire, from staffing to government. And then we also teach other medical professionals on how to be the best medical professional they want to be. And we partner with hospitals to help them to keep and retain their staff. All right, so that's a lot. So that's all 3 companies, y'all. So let's get to the questions. We got 11 minutes on the clock. Y'all know I respect y'all time as if y'all respect mine. Episode number 52. What is the impact of COVID-19 on healthcare staffing? Yes, there is an impact. So I normally give you 3 things that I felt like will answer the question. So increase in staff. So what we've seen when COVID-19 happened was people that was retired coming back to work. And the reason why they was coming back to work is because there were higher wages, right? And it wasn't just higher wages, but it was a need. Like, as a medical professional, you couldn't just sit back knowing you had a skill that can save somebody's lives. So it was an increase in medical professionals. We had people coming out of retirement. We had people who didn't even graduate nursing school, practicing as nurses. Like, all hands were on deck when it came to potentially saving somebody's life. And that's what I really, really, truly loved about COVID. No matter if you're retired, no matter if you're just starting, there is a skill that you acquire that you can utilize to save a life. So I really, really love that about the COVID-19. Now, granted, it was a very, very horrible pandemic. This pandemic changed the game for a lot of people. A lot of people lost a lot of people that was close to them. But the unity that it brought in the community, the respect that it brought to medical professionals. So we were on the front line risking our lives and our guns and knives and whatever our battle stuff was, our masks, our skills, our gowns, our gloves, So with COVID-19, there was some great things that came out of it as far as the unity. So the increase in staff, from people again retiring, coming back to work, people not even finished nursing school coming in and helping out and utilizing their skills, medical professionals as far as doctors that wasn't finished medical school that came in and utilized the skill that they knew to help the patient, right? So everybody utilized what they knew to help somebody on some different type of level. So that is one of the impacts of COVID-19 on healthcare staffing, right? Healthcare staffing became a really, really huge, it's already been a huge industry, but during COVID, it became a really, really big industry. And that is because it was such increase in staff, right? So the hospitals and they didn't have the manpower to hire and orientate these people. So they had to get them through agencies so they can pour them in by the masses, right? And then the government was partnering. You could partner with the government if you was a healthcare staffing agency. So you can now pour in your nurses by the masses per state, right? So like people in California, the state of California, they had a favorite healthcare staffing was one of the facilities in Texas, crucial, right? So they can pull the nurses in by the state. So it's like during COVID-19, healthcare staffing industry do, and we help beat this pandemic. So definitely. All right. So the second thing, what is the impact of COVID-19 on healthcare staffing? Increase in specialty awareness. So this is so important because during COVID, the way that COVID affected the body, the medical professionals that you truly, truly needed, I'm sorry, I'm waving y'all on Instagram below. The medical professionals that you really, really needed the most was ICU nurses, right? So ICU nurses are intensive care nurses. And the reason why you needed them the most is because the labs were just out of whack. They were not normal labs that you would see on the everyday med surg floor or telemetry floor. You needed critical care nurses. So like ICU nurses, emergency room nurses, and at any moment, based on the person's oxygen level or the way they are presenting, the way they looking like, oh my God, I can't breathe, I need a tube, right? You need that medical professional that's had that experience with placing tubes, with verifying tubes, with giving the right dosage of medications per person to place these tubes, right? So you've seen an increase in the specialty awareness. Like COVID brought out, like, yeah, we really need more ICU nurses. We need more period, because not too many people can do it, right? On both of them, they're very extreme because you have to give, depending on the ICU experience, right? If you're in CV ICU, just like cardiovascular ICU, it's certain things that you have to give. Like you have to monitor that patient and making sure that everything is staying within balance to keep that person alive. Like it's not just, oh, here's a pill, this medicine is for your blood pressure. And I'm not downplaying on any other medical professional. Believe me, I'm not. I've done every medical professional except L&D because I got 5 kids and I was not seeing anybody else having a baby. But I've done every medical professional out there in OR. I've never been an OR nurse, but I've done PACU. I've done after surgery. What I'm saying is because of the awareness of putting people to sleep, the awareness of paralyzing people, the awareness of maintaining a ET tube, right? An endotracheal tube that goes down your throat that keeps you breathing. Because of that particular awareness, that takes a specialty training, right? You have to be trained on what to look for in a dislodged tube, what to look for is the tube working properly, are the lungs rising and falling properly, right? So that all comes with special training. So because I was an ER nurse and I did that for about 5 years, and then I was an ICU nurse and I did that as well for about 4 or 5 years, it was easy for me to see, like, oh my God, like this virus is attacking everything. Look at the labs, look at this, look at, how it makes you look on a critical level on the things that you can fix to help the person to either be more stable, to help the person to live. That was the goal, right? To help people to live. So one thing for sure that COVID brought to the healthcare staffing world was we don't specialize. We don't, healthcare staffing agencies don't go niche specific. So we don't, you rarely have a healthcare staffing agency that just supplies ICU nurses or critical care nurses, right? So you rarely have one that just supplies emergency room nurses. Why? Because they're in need, they're in high need, but a lot of hospitals and doctors' offices, they don't want outside people to come in as temporary because they know the skills, they know the requirements that they need. And not only that, they know the lawsuits that can occur if that medical professional is not up to par, right? Is not like, if it's in their institutions, like, okay, these are the trainings that we give you in our institution, but yeah, you get these trainings really quickly, and then you get this really quickly, but we really don't know you. And for people who know, like healthcare staffing, I mean, not healthcare staffing, but ICUs, that's the money, that's the crop of the hospital, right? So you got your surgical suites and you got your ICUs. Like those beds per day are very, very expensive. So if you ever look at a hospital, you'll always see, and it's sad, but it's true. But if you ever look at a hospital, you'll always see the most beautiful areas are the surgical suites and the ICUs, right? So you'll always see the most beautiful areas where, because those are the places that bring the hospitals the most money. So they put the most money back into it to keep it going, right? And that is what COVID did to people. They didn't prepare, because ICU is not, there's not a lot of ICU nurses, there's not a lot of ER nurses. Because they did not prepare for a virus to come and be so focused on people needing specialty treatment, it showed that, hey, we don't have enough ICU nurses in the United States. We don't have enough ER nurses, right? So that is what the impact of COVID-19 did on healthcare staffing. It showed healthcare staffing owners, look, you need to hire medical professionals in this niche, or you need to hire medical professionals you can cross-train, right? So cross-train will be something that I am. I'm cross-trained in so many different units and specialties that no matter where you put me, I can operate, right? And that takes a particular skill. And then that also takes a different type of pay set. You can't pay people who cross-train just anything. You got to pay them because it's a lot of training. You're talking about years and years of experience. All right. So we got 1 minute left, and let's go. What is the impact of COVID-19 on healthcare staffing? Higher pay wages. So this, to me, I felt like was a really bad impact, because I understand that we deserve to get higher wages. I'm not saying that. I get it. Believe me, I felt like it because I was risking my life in there every day. What I'm saying is, after we saved everybody, after the pandemic, when we went back to normal wages, right? You had people with like 6 months experience who felt like they should get paid as much as a nurse who has 20 years experience. And it's just like, well, I'm a nurse too. No, it's not like that, y'all. It's like saying, I'm a parent. I'm just a parent, just like you're a parent, but we've been parenting for 30 years. We can tell you something that you wouldn't know because we've been doing it for 30 years, compared to you giving us, you could tell us something we don't know, but we have more experience in it. And I don't care how just get paid more because you put the work in to get the experience. And it's things that a book cannot teach you that only experience can teach you, right? So I truthfully, honestly believe that. And because of these wages are such higher, a lot of people backed away from the medical industry altogether because they're hoping like, oh, these wages are going to go up. These wages are going to go up. And what the problem is, nobody's suffering but the patients. That's the problem, right? So nobody's suffering but the patients. So that's why even with my healthcare staffing agency, I go and work into my clients' buildings sometimes just to help, because I understand like they need somebody with some experience and somebody's skills. And I am just one person. I'm dismissing that over here because it's over. I'm just one person, but I know what experience can do in a building. I know what experience can do in a facility. So I feel like one of the negative impacts for sure that COVID-19 did with healthcare staffing agencies was gave these staffing agencies or gave other medical professionals the illusion that healthcare staffing agencies do pay a lot of money. But the truth of the matter was they were paying a lot of money because it was backed by the government. That's the truth of the matter. And now it's not backed by the government. So they pay normally what they normally pay, which decreases people that want to do healthcare staffing, because they're just like, how come, you was getting paid $10,000 and now you only offering me $2,000? Like, it doesn't make sense, right? It makes sense if the government's backing it. The government's a premium client. They can afford to pay that. Your regular hospital or your regular nursing home cannot afford to pay those. So because the government's backing it and giving people incentives for hiring medical professionals, that is why the wages were higher. All right, so I hope I helped somebody, because you got some travel nurses out there like, I'm not going back to travel to $10,000 a week. Okay, well then that's personal, right? It's really, you're not really helping the patient, right? You got to help the patient. At the end of the day, you got to help the patient, right? And you still got to be able to live, and you can live off of $2,000 a week. You can live off of $2,000 a week. Okay. You got people making $500 a week that's working it out, and nurses complain about $2,000 a week, but it's okay. Right? Not saying top of the line. We still pay a little bit higher. We pay a lot of $2,000 a week, but still, you got to understand, we're in there for the patients, right? You can't drain a hospital and then they close down. Where the patients gonna go? Like, where they gonna go, y'all? We can't. You can't do that, right? All right. So, what is the impact of COVID-19 on healthcare staffing, or just get a government contract? Number 1, increase in staff. Number 2, increase in specialty awareness. And number 3, higher pay wages. All right, y'all. So I want to say, if you really, really like what I'm giving to you, if you like that I'm coming live to you every day and giving you information, go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am getting 500 subscribers. I'm going to be in people's inboxes this week again to make sure they subscribe. Guess what YouTube does? Anytime you subscribe, it sends me a message and says who subscribed to my channel. So everybody who subscribed to my channel, I'm subscribing to their channel. And not only that, but it lets me cross off my list who I don't need to contact again to say, hey, did you subscribe? Y'all, I'm a follow-up person. I really am. I follow through. If I have a plan, I have a vision, and I know that it can take me to the next level, I follow through. So make sure you're checking your messages. Make sure you are subscribing to my YouTube channel and all my social media platforms. The Real Alisa Applewhite. Again, that is The Real Alisa Applewhite. Go to my Facebook page and like my page, The Real Alisa Applewhite. You can catch me on all platforms at The Real Alisa Applewhite. Not any extra number or letter or nothing. It is just The Real Alisa Applewhite. All right, family. So as always, I always tell you, thank you so much. Today's Friday, and I want y'all to have a blessed weekend. Tomorrow, definitely stay tuned for the replays. You can catch replays on Saturdays and Sundays. But I want you to know that I absolutely love you. And everybody is going through something in life, but you have to keep pushing through. And I'm saying this to y'all because I'm saying it to myself. Like, when I feel like a whirlwind is happening in my life right now, a whirlwind is happening in my life, but I'm just keeping my focus on God and just moving in exactly how he want me to move. Because at the end of the day, like, long as I get up and I keep moving, it's going to get done. And that's the mindset you got to have. Like, if God it has allowed you to be with me, which I'm so glad that you're here with me today. I am so ecstatic that you're here. God has allowed you to be here with me today. Take advantage of it, y'all. When we get off this call, like, go do something that you always wanted to do and get it done. Like, sit down if you got to take a whole hour and get it done, because life is not promised to you at 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, but life is promised to you right now as we're talking, right? So definitely take advantage. And remember that I absolutely love you and I don't know you, but God loves you in a way that I can't even explain or ever even dream of. So definitely reach out to your maker, y'all. He's just waiting for y'all to give you all the blessings that you are asked, that you deserve. So definitely until I see you again, I'll see you on Monday, right? I don't know. I might do a recording on Monday, y'all, because I have a business conference to go to. Always got somewhere to go, but I'm not sure. So don't hold me to it. I might just go live straight from the conference. All right, family. Absolutely love y'all. Take care. Until Monday. See you again. Bye-bye. Healthcare is affected by everything, right? You could be walking and have a stroke or have a heart attack. Now you are in the healthcare system, right? You can just all of a sudden start having mental issues, and now you're in the healthcare system, right? You could be minding your business and somebody can come in and shoot you, or hit your car or something like that, and now you are in the healthcare arena. And this is why healthcare is so important to me, because to me it matters who's at the bedside, right? So I always say to people, it doesn't matter to me that I have a nurse that say, hey, I'm a nurse, or I'm a CNA, and they show up at the building, right? That doesn't show me their integrity. Their integrity, their accountability, their professionalism, it shows when the door is closed. That is how you know how true a person is to their mission of being a healthcare professional, right? It's how they treat the patients with the doors closed. And my goal is to help to educate healthcare staffing owners and also medical professionals, and again, hospitals, on how to help medical professionals get back to that mindset of how to treat people when the door is closed.